Today I want to share with you my new RODI water filtration system. Don't go anywhere. What is up, YouTube and all my fish keeping friends? How's everybody doing out there in fish tank land? I have right here my new RODI water filtration system. This one is made by Aquatic Life, so it was designed for the aquarium hobby. You can pretty much get any RODI system. It doesn't have to be made by Aquatic Life, but this worked out perfect, and it's the one that would ship with Amazon, so it's the one I got. So I'm going to show you my setup that I have behind me. It's a little bit overkill. I have some more plans for this system as well. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour through the setup and walk you through all of the different stages to create RODI water. Well, first of all, it's a little bit of an overkill here. I have a whole refrigeration unit, which I got a few years ago. I decided to go ahead and set up all of the filtration inside of here, put a water alarm on the floor, so just in case anything were to happen with my water filtration system, the water would hit the floor in here first before hitting the floor of my house. The alarm would go off, it'll alert me of it in the middle of the night or whatever, and I can jump up and deal with it. I have all the filtration inside of this unit. Then I have the line coming out of here going into a 55-gallon barrel, or I'm sorry, 45-gallon Rubbermaid garbage can. And I have it on a stainless steel wheeled base. I do not recommend the Rubbermaid bases that the 45-gallon Rubbermaid garbage cans can come with. The casters that you can get to go with it, they will work, but they don't work for very long. They cannot take the weight of a fully filled garbage can full of water. Plus, they have a very they don't have a very wide center of gravity. So if you were to push it too hard, too quickly, or something like that, you could knock the whole garbage can over, all that water all over your house. Especially if you're on carpet or something like that, it's not going to work for you. I have recycled a stainless steel base that goes onto a, originally was on a copy machine, like an industrial commercial copy machine. So it's much bigger. It has a wide center of gravity, so I do not have to worry about this thing tipping over at all while I'm wheeling it around my house. I have tile floors, so that also makes it really nice for getting it around here with the wheels with so much weight and it not getting, you know, stuck on carpet or something like that. That would be a pain. So I can fill this up and then I can wheel it across the room over here to my other tanks, or wheel it into the living room where my other tanks are in there, and I can fill up the tanks, do what I need to do. So let's go ahead and check out this filtration system. Alright, I went ahead and pulled the camera off of the tripod. Now, I'm sorry for this being a little bit of a goofy video. I just really want to give you an idea of my system and the things that you can do with an RODI system. So this has a door on it, right? I can open this up. Now you can hear I got a pump running down here at the bottom. This is a pump to increase the pressure. My city water pressure is about 45 psi, and an RODI system works a lot better. It just shut off just now. An RODI system works a lot better at about 60 psi. So this pump here actually kicks the pressure up to 60 psi. We'll start in the beginning. The water comes in right here. It comes in from underneath my kitchen. I have it teed off. The water comes in here. I have it go through 2 sediment filters first. It goes through a 5 micron, which is pretty dirty and I need to replace. 5 micron, then it goes through a 1 micron. So most of the sediment is caught in the 5 micron because you can see that the 1 micron filter is still really pretty clean. And it comes out of there. It goes into this pump, this booster pump, which has a switch on it, a pressure switch, that it turns off at 60 psi and turns on at about 40-45 psi, I think. And so it comes out of here and it goes into this pressure tank. Now, expansion tank or pressure tank, however you want, whatever you want to call it. Now this tank acts like a spring. Most water pumps that I know create water for houses or whatnot, they're gonna have a pressure tank. Now you heard that this thing just kicked on again. It's pretty quiet actually, really nice. It's made by a company called Aquatech. So it just kicked on. It's pressurizing this pressure tank which has a bladder in it. Air can be compressed, water cannot be compressed. So there's actually a balloon in there, and as this pumps water into here, it compresses the air inside of the balloon, and that acts as a spring so that you have 60 psi for a little while, so the pump doesn't have to run continuously. So this is going to pressurize up to 60 psi. Anyways, it's going to come out through here, tee off from here, and the water coming teeing off from here is about 60 psi. It's going to go around and up, and it goes into the RODI system. Now there's also a sediment filter on here, so it's going to go through the sediment filter, then it's going to go through a carbon filter, which is a carbon block filter, and then it's going to go through deionization beads here, which do a lot of the work actually, and it actually gets it down to about 15 TDS, and then it goes through the reversed osmosis unit here, and when it comes out of here, it comes around anyways, and it comes out this blue line here, and this water is about 1 to 0 parts per million, and the excess water goes out that red line, and it goes around and goes and drains into my kitchen. Eventually I will tee it off under the sink, and it will drain right into the drain under the sink, so no one has to see that line. Now another thing about this, most people might know or might not know, that RODI system is going to create a lot of wastewater. About 2/3 of the water is actually wastewater. 1/3 is going to come out through this line. And I live in a place where it's really not a good idea to waste water. We have a very limited amount of water, so it doesn't really make much sense to be doing this. I do this for the fish. Like I mentioned before, the deionization beads actually filter out most of the stuff. It gets it down to about 15 parts per million, which is actually pretty good for most aquariums. So my future goal here is on this side, on this wall, to actually have 2 more sediment filters, well, at least 1 more sediment filter, a carbon block, and then a deionization filter over here. And then the water that comes out of there is going to be about 15-20 parts per million. I'll be able to use that for most of my aquariums, and so maybe my shrimp tanks or some other stuff like that where I really need RODI water, I'll be able to run it through this as well. So most of my water will be created with the water filtration system that I have on this side, and I'll have no wastewater from that. There won't be a red line going out and dumping a bunch of water down the sink. So I'll have the DI water, which is about 20 parts per million, and I'll be able to tee that off, and I can fill up a barrel with that. And then if I really need to create 0 parts per million water, I'll run it through the RODI system, and I can get that. So in the end, I will have a very large water filtration system here with about 8 stages. I'll have these 2 sediment filters, a 3rd sediment filter, carbon block, and then DI. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 being the DI or the RO chamber on the top here. So there'll be about 8 or 9 stages in this water filtration system, but I'll have 2 different kinds of water. It'll take care of everything. So this is just my setup right now. This is the basic setup. If you're going to go ahead and get one for about $150 or so, this is what you're going to get. You're going to probably have a 4-stage unit like that, and I definitely recommend putting a couple of sediment filters on it before, so you really don't gunk up the sediment filter here, and you don't gunk up the carbon block here as well. It really extends the life of these filters if you have pre-filters first. Now you can hear the water trickling. I do have it set up right here with the blue line coming in. It's just trickling. Now that's what you get. So it really takes about 6 to 8 hours to fill up this barrel. Sometimes, depending on the water pressure, it can take up to 12 hours just to create about 45 to 50 gallons of water. You can see I have the blue line coming in. It's just a little bit of a trickle. That's pretty much what you're going to get from an RODI system. It's going to take about 8 to 12 hours, depending on the water pressure, to create about 45 to 50 gallons of water. I do set up a water alarm on the side of this so that I know when it's full, the alarm will go off and I can run over here and turn off the unit. I also have this plumbing you see here is just a pump that's sitting at the bottom, and it pumps up through and just recirculating back through at this point. And then when I'm doing water changes, I can hang this on the tank, open this valve, close that valve, and it will pump water into the tank. So this is just something I rigged up that will hang over the side of the tank, and I can fill them up as I run around the room, and I can roll this whole unit. You can see I have the wheel base down there, which gets me around the house pretty decently with all of the weight of water. So this was just a quick video to share with you my RODI system. If you do not have one, these are really awesome, especially if you're working with saltwater aquariums. But if you're working with Caridina shrimp, or you have wild caught fish that are definitely used to a very low TDS, really super clean water, RODI system is probably going to be a must to keep your shrimp or those fish happy. But go ahead and check them out. You can check them out on Amazon. I should create an Amazon affiliate account so that I can put some links in the description below, but I'm not there yet. I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to check out this video. I hope this might have helped some of you out that are thinking about getting into an RODI system. If you're not subscribed to this content, you like it, and you want to see more of it, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for all notifications. And remember guys, keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.